What's up guys? Welcome back again to my channel. In this episode I wanted to cover how to negotiate a deal. In my last video I talked about finding the deal and I kind of brushed over the negotiating phase, but I think negotiating itself needs its own video since that's probably the hardest part. So I think you have to look at negotiating this deal through the lens of like a salesman. You're not really selling them a product, but you're selling them your idea of basically having them sell you their property, right? You want to sell them that idea. That takes a little bit of convincing and persuasion, right? And you don't want to be, someone that uses like peer pressure tactics and trying to force someone to do something they don't want to do. But if you're able to educate them on how the process works and you just sound professional, that goes a long ways to getting the deal. So I'm going to lay out a list of 5 tips and tricks to help you negotiate and ultimately land your first deal. And so number one thing is just being polite and professional. Because when you cold call somebody, the person selling the house is getting a call from an unknown number from somebody they don't know. So already they're going to be like, who's this scumbag that's bothering me during my day, right? And so you being polite is going to go a long way. So the first thing I like to do when I give someone a call is I say, hey, sorry for interrupting your day. That automatically kind of diffuses the situation and makes them a little bit less angry or annoyed than they probably will be when they answer your phone call. Number 2, another important tip is building trust. You want to build trust with this person because, like I said before, they do not know you. They don't know what your intentions are. They probably think that you're just like a slimy salesman trying to sell them some, BS that's online or something. And so you need to build trust with them in order for them to be able to trust you to give you the details that you want. So that you probably want to find out, how much equity do you have in the home, or what's the state of the property in. They're not going to talk to you if they can't trust you. And so that rolls into my third tip, which is knowing your audience and being able to build rapport with that person. If you know who the person is, you can establish similarities, and those little subtle similarities can go a long way building rapport. And so what I like to do in my market, it's a very military town, a lot of military people active, veterans are retired, live in my market. And so since I'm active duty military, I like to build a connection, through that route. So I'll say, kind of subtly mention, I operate a veteran-owned business, and that little cue kind of makes them say, oh, where did you serve, yada yada, and then they'll tell you their life story and whatnot, and you're able to just ping off each other and just build that solid connection to go forward. So far you were polite, you built some trust, you established those simple connections and built a rapport with the seller. So that leads into my 4th tip, which is being educated. You need to know your stuff to be able to explain it clearly to the seller. So if you're not able to explain it in a clear, precise, and almost elementary school level to this person, because maybe they know nothing about real estate investing. So you have to break it down like Barney style in order to convey what you want to them and make them more comfortable and at ease. Like, okay, this he's legit, he knows what he's doing, I feel more at ease with this, and they'll be more willing to sell you this home. After all that leads to my last step, number 5, which is figuring out what their problem is and solving that problem. If you're able to solve their problems for them, then that'll sink you this deal no matter what. Even if you were rude, maybe in the beginning, like, hey, this guy was kind of a dick, but he's able to solve my problems, sure, we'll give him this deal. So number 5, most important, is solving problems. And so here's a good example for you from my last deal. Basically, the person that owned the home, he was very frustrated because his current tenant just stopped paying rent since like January. I'm filming this now in about September. So that entire time, this poor guy had to carry this mortgage without any help from this tenant. This tenant is just living there for free. He doesn't know what to do because he doesn't live in the same state anymore. He lives in a whole other part of the country. and he's frustrated. So when I'm talking to him, you can sense it. He's pretty pissed off about the situation. And so I solve problems. So what I did was I said, all right, man, what I'll do is, I'll take care of this for you. You sell me this house, and what I'll do for you is give you however much they owed you in rent for this year, I'll give you that in cash at closing. And so that helped him out, solve his problems. He got his money back for, he feels justified. He got his money back for all those years or months of rent that he missed. And in the meantime, I got a solid deal from this. And so it's a win-win situation for everybody. And so that covers my list of 5 tips and tricks. Number 1, being polite. 2, building trust. 3, knowing your audience and being able to build rapport. 4, being educated on what you're doing. And then lastly, 5, being able to solve problems for the guy. So negotiating too is just something that you're gonna have to just keep practicing and just through reps getting better at, and then you'll build confidence. Because at first when I started, I was nervous on the phone, like hello, I was like skittish. But you'll build confidence throughout time, and you'll be able to express what you want more. I also wouldn't write a script per se, because you just don't want to read it like a robot. And everybody's voice sounds differently, right? The way it inflects or your tone. So it's something that you want to listen to, maybe by recording and whatnot, and just hearing what it sounds like. Because if it sounds kind of cringy to you, and you're the one saying it, it's going to probably sound awful to them. And so just by practicing, you can kind of get a nice script in your head down and be able to express, I think, the most efficiently. When it comes to calling people and negotiating, you never really know what you're gonna run into and what kind of situation you're gonna get yourself in. And so, a lot of people are pretty rude, so you just want to be prepared for that now, maybe get a thick skin. I know that, one time when I called somebody and I gave him my little pitch, he just stopped and he was like, "You just need to get better." And I was like, damn, you're probably right, but that kind of hurts. And so that was a dub. Another time, I called this dude, and when I picked the phone, he didn't say nothing. He was just munching on potato chips. All I hear was I was like, "Hello?" He's like, "What you want?" And I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, give my pitch, want to buy your house. And in the middle of when I was talking, he was just like, 100,000. And I was like, 100,000? Are you talking about how much you want to sell this thing for? And he's like, yup. And so I was like, because when I call these people, I don't really do my research first, because I can't just call so many people, it would take too long. So I quickly kind of Google and I just look on Zillow, and this property is worth probably half that, maybe $50,000. So I'm like, 100,000 is pretty high. I think this is worth half of that. And he's like, bye. And then it just hung up. And I was like, oh, well, that was really weird, right? So it's just kind of funny. And I think just one more off the top of my head real quick. I called and it was a Spanish lady. She let me know that too. She was, I don't know, she was mad that day. She called her on the wrong part of the day. And so, I called her and I didn't even get anything out of it really. She just basically was just going, kind of teeing off on me, right? Just blah, 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 kind of fast and she's like, and I'm Spanish too. And I'm like, I was like, I know, this didn't faze me at all. I know what that's like. My girlfriend's Spanish too. This ain't nothing but a thing to me. And so, luckily I listened to her, and then she kind of calmed down. And then she was a little bit nice after that. But of course, I didn't land a deal. I just kind of got yelled at by a Spanish lady. But like I said, this is just some examples of what you might run into on the phone, and just try to remain unfazed and know that you close one deal and that's money in your pocket. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to keep saying that until I can get more likes and more subscribes. And just thanks for your time. Until next time.